Moxy woman, brave and strong. Moxy woman, gonna sing my song.
Hello, my name is Michelle Boudreau.
You born with?
Michelle and Boudreau.
Okay. And can you tell us where did you grow up?
I grew up, actually I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and lived there until I was 9 years old. And then we moved to Colorado, and I only lived there for 2 years, but it was a lot of fun because it was different from Michigan. In Michigan, we had a lot of lakes and boats and cabins that we would do in the summertime with the kids, and it was a lot of fun. But Colorado had the mountains, so it was a completely different outdoor experience, which I loved both. And then I ended up moving at age about 11 to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I grew up there in Chicago.
Yeah, well, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, I have one brother, and I have a sister that is deceased. And I lost her to cancer in 2001, and which was really heartbreaking. We were really close. And as a matter of fact, even though we were 6 years apart in age, we played twins on a lot of TV shows, and when we were modeling and doing different things while we were growing up. Of course, she didn't like it too much because she was the younger one, and since I was older, you know, she didn't like that we were playing the same age as much, but it was fun. I have a lot of great memories and a lot of great stories. I mean, we did the Flintstones, we did Full House, we did a lot of fun shows together, and we'll always have those memories.
Where does your brother live?
My brother lives in Chicago, and he is just so wonderful. His heart is amazing. He has my niece and I are so close. Absolutely adore her. She is 18 years old already, and I swear nothing makes me feel old except when kids are getting older. Kids getting older makes me feel old. And then you start realizing you're getting older. But I just I love my family. They're fabulous.
What about your parents, your mom and your dad?
Well, my mom and my dad, my mom is actually in Chicago, and she still lives there near where we grew up, and it's a lot of fun to go back. And my father lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he is actually remarried and has a new life out there. I shouldn't say new life because they were married 17 years, and he's married to the wife that he has now, Jackie, for like 26 years. So, we have a great history. My father's from Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, is where he was born. And we went there for the first time since he left when he was 14. And we took a trip back about 3 years ago. And it was really a wonderful trip of history, and it's so small and just an incredible area and lineage, and really fun to look at all the family tree and all the relatives that were back there.
Michelle, what were you like as a young girl?
A brat.
Okay. In what way?
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Actually, you know what? Actually, what everyone used to tell me is that I was sassy, and still to this day, one of my websites that I had up when I was doing acting and all that kind of stuff was, I always said, if you need somebody who's sassy, because it was just, I always have been sassy, and just meaning I had a lot of spunk. And as a kid, I was always a leader. I could tell you that my teachers would tell my parents, your daughter is the class lawyer. She gets involved and sticks up for people, even if it has nothing to do with her. So I always was worried about, you know, if somebody was being treated fairly, or making sure they got the right thing, or if I knew something and I wanted to help them. And, you know, sometimes it would get me in trouble because I wasn't supposed to be involved. But
Well, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what I wanted to be when I grew up was Miss America. Always practiced the wave and made my poor little sister pretend like she was turning on the TV and watch me do commercials. So, I mean, it was crazy. And then I used to build Barbie houses downstairs in the basement, which was a blast. And my brother always tells a story at Christmas. He always tells a story about how I'd roller skate around the basement, and I would twirl a baton singing, do you know the way to Bombay? Not San Jose, but do you know the way to Bombay? And he would just be like, oh my God, if I had to hear that song one more time with me roller skating around twirling the baton. But my most fond memory, one of my most fond memories, I should say, is when I would build Barbie houses. I was so into it. I would have the Barbie houses that you would get for Christmas, but of course that wasn't enough. I would get these big ideas and build a bigger house and decorate it. And I often say right now that there's no difference in that day when I was 5 to 8 years old to now. It's just my Barbie houses are a little bigger and more expensive.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, yeah.
What was your first job?
My very first job, when I was 16 years old, actually my mother helped me get it, and I was so excited, was at a Hallmark store.
A what?
A Hallmark store.
Okay.
So it was at a Hallmark store, and where they had the cards and the gifts and the candles. And I will tell you, I don't think I brought how much money, because I ended up shopping and spending and buying gifts. And Hallmark stores they're happy. They're a happy place, and it's always about a celebration, or somebody's having a birthday, somebody's this or that. So when you have downtime and nobody was in there shopping, of course you're looking around for what you can give to somebody. So a lot of my paycheck was spent giving gifts and that kind of thing. But I got really good at wrapping presents too.
Well, when you were in high school, what were you involved in? What types of activities?
Everything. When I was in high school, I was involved in everything that I could. Interesting, I was on the girls' intramural basketball team, and actually that was junior high. I was on the baton twirling team in 6th grade, and I did play flag football. I did play tennis. I did everything there was available to me. But one of my greatest memories through high school, and which was an absolute blast, was I was on the drill team. And it was a drill team pom-pom squad. We ended up going to Macy's Day Parade. We won a lot of awards. We went to summer camps, so there was that camaraderie and that bonding of being on a team and really learning how to achieve and win trophies together. And when you didn't win, and the sadness that went with that, and but all the fun that went along with being with the group and achieving things. So that was a great memory.
Now I know you were a spokesperson on home shopping and so forth, but I thought I saw a photograph somewhere of you, and you looked like you were maybe an airline stewardess. Were you?
Yes, I was. I was a flight attendant way long time ago. And I had so much fun. I only did it for a couple of years, and really had a good time though. Traveled around the Caribbean, took my family, my mother, my sister. We went to Tokyo, London, all over Europe, and just had a fantastic time. I was based in Chicago for a little while, and then a brief time also in Los Angeles. Would fly back to New York, and again, having such a good time with the camaraderie with your flight crew, and going out to seeing all the sightseeing places, and somebody would know this and somebody would know that, and so you got to learn a lot and have fun.
Moxy women.